talk about something that a lot of people don't really think about. Um, and it actually can be a more serious thing than a lot of people realize. And what I am speaking on is hoarders, people that can't let things go, that obsess over keeping items, don't get rid of things, tend to just pile it up, stockpile it, and it becomes a huge problem. Um, One of the things about this is not only the effect that it has on the way of living, because you never know what is in and amongst that, because seeing some extreme cases where, people have all of these items and things like that, and there's literally living creatures in mixed in there. All sorts of spiders, sometimes rats, the lesser version of that, mice, things like that. There are literally critters living in there and dying, and you know, they're trying to live, so they live, they crap wherever and everything like that. It becomes very, very hard and a bad situation for anybody else that is trying to live in that area. So, people that deal with people like this, with hoarders and stuff like that, it can become a health hazard because you have all of this in your house that's just sitting there. And there's other forms of neglect to the home when you have people like this too. You get all sorts of mold and stuff that can be really bad, especially when you start getting black mold and other types of mold that are really harmful to breathe. You can have people have really bad health problems later on, and this can lead to death. Now, I want to push into the psychological aspects of this. So, one of the things that now, this is my opinion. This is very much what I believe. I haven't really looked into any of this for scientific reasons, but it stands to reason with how I feel about it that it's gotta have some basis in fact. And so I'm stating my theory. My theory is people that have this problem, that do hoard and sit there and obsess and hang on to things, can't let things go. And so if someone's sitting there and hoarding all these objects, oftentimes they are the type of people that when a scenario or something happens that bugs them or they can't seem to get past, they're reliving it in a loop and they're just hanging on to it like they do all of these possessions and items. Hello, guys. Good to have you here. So, these people that are obsessive and everything like that and hang on to these items to where it's to the point where they can't live a normal life, they also are holding on to mental baggage. They are holding on to all of this stuff that ever bothers them or sticks in their mind, and they are just replaying that on a loop. And that in itself is its own problem because they never can get past issues. They're always going to keep replaying them. And then whenever they meet someone new, these things that they have held on to and can't let go mentally, just like any normal object, they are projecting that onto anybody else new that they are meeting. Hello, hello. Good to have you here. Thank you. Um, they literally cannot get past that. And so whenever they meet someone new, and this could be in relationships or whatever, they are projecting this onto someone else. And so they start having these preconceptions that this person is going to be the same before they've ever really got a chance to be with them. And I've experienced this, guys. I, for one, myself have experienced this. I had someone who had these preconceptions of how I was going to be and behave because someone they had been with was that way, and they've held on to that emotional baggage for so long. And, the crazy thing is about this? That very person was someone that kept and held on to objects. They have things all around that they hang on to and collect. And so that just further affirmed in me and my thoughts on them that if they hang on to all of these objects like that, they're doing the exact same thing. Hello, hello. Good to have you here. They're doing the very same thing with everything they're holding on to in their mind. And they can't get past it. They can't let it go. And it becomes toxic, guys. It really does. I'm appreciative. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Um, they can't let go of these things, and it's because they just have this obsessive nature with hanging on to stuff. And it's almost to the point where like they feel like they have to, like it's a comfort thing. Even with the stuff that is like mental and psychological stuff, I wouldn't go there, but thank you very much. That is very sweet. Um, so one of the best things about this is that um, when they can't do this, it can ruin relationships because of the fact that they, like I said, project all these things that have stuck in their mind of how someone has hurt them or someone has done them wrong in some way. Anytime they meet someone new, they immediately think that this new person is going to be the exact same way, and they cannot let go of that. And so this can ruin all sorts of relationships just because they have that hoarding attitude. And this goes into even the psychological, the mental things that they hang on to. And so I almost had where it ruined a relationship for me because they had these preconceptions from previous men they had been with, and they kept projecting this on me, and I felt like I couldn't just be my own person because I was being unfairly treated and looked at because they thought I was going to be the same. And so they almost got obsessive to the point where they were trying to like control and mold me into this mold that they thought was ideal for them. And I finally had to like step back and be like, look, you have to let me just be my own man, and I will be the best I can be, but I'm not going to be perfect. And things have, things got a lot better after that. But I finally had to have that sit down, and it was very serious, and there was a lot of like upset back and forth. They had their own feelings, and they were very, very upset about, the fact that I kind of pushed back like that. But I was like, you are being unfair to me because you have me in this mold of who you think I'm going to be, and you're trying to cast me the way you want me to be because you have these preconceptions you've held on to for who knows how many years. And so it wasn't until I finally broke out and was like, look, I'm going to be me. I'm going to be the best me I can be, but I'm going to have my faults. I'm going to have my problems. Things have been so much better, guys. And please just know that if you have someone who's trying to do that to you, if you have someone that has these like pre-stuck, preset things that they believe of people that they meet because of people in their past, you have to be strong and just be like, look, this is who I am. This is who I'm going to be. If this is a problem for you, then maybe this isn't going to work. But if you can accept that this is who I am and I'm going to be the best that I am, then it can work. And you have to be very real with people like that. I am spitting all over my screen because I'm getting animated. But anyways, so just know that you can get these people to look at you as you, but you have to have that full on sit down. And I mean, like, hand on the shoulder, bring him into the bedroom, whatever, sit him down on the bed, face to face with them, and just be like, look, this is me, this is who I am, and just be real with them. Now, the other side of this is if you see their destructive behavior of where they are hoarding and they are collecting things and it is like bad enough to where it's all over the house, this is another problem because this is a health thing, guys. This can really affect anybody that isn't in and around the house. And if this is a situation where this is like a family that you're trying to be a part of and everything like that, and there's more than one individual that is living there, if they are hoarding around the house and everything like that, there is chances that there are living things that have lived there, crapped there, and possibly died in there. And if that is the case, that is a health hazard that could cause all sorts of health problems for you and anybody else that is living there. If there's children there, whatever, they could all get severely sick. And when people hoard to that level to where there is stuff everywhere, there's all sorts of other health things that can be there because there can be all sorts of mold and all sorts of other things that are starting to grow and just spread everywhere. And if you get the things like black mold and other really, really dangerous molds that are really bad for you to breathe in and stuff like that, that could be a hospital trip for you, any children that possibly are around. and elderly, whomever, it could be anybody. And that is a very serious thing because that can cause all sorts of respiratory problems and it can kill you. So you have to be very, very cautious and careful, and you have to be able to approach these people because when people collect and hoard that kind of stuff, as I said before, it is a very obsessive behavior. And if you come to them immediately or like, we got to get rid of this stuff, chances are they are going to get extremely, extremely upset about that because they are holding on to that stuff for some sort of emotional baggage. It makes them feel better to have those things collected around them. It's kind of almost like, think like, I don't want to put it this way, but think of it as kind of like an emotional buffer. Hello, hello, hello. Good to have you here. Cool kid. Nice to meet you. So when you have someone that's like this, they're using it almost as like an emotional padding, like a protection. So when you see someone that has all this crap everywhere in their house, it is some sort of like emotional shield that they're putting up. Thank you. I appreciate that. Anybody that does, I appreciate you being here. I do videos on the regular about different subjects. I sing. I also do gaming stuff. The gaming stuff's coming later. Um, but I will be doing GTA 6 when it releases in November, so be ready for that 100%. Love you being here, so I appreciate you. But anyways, back to my subject. So when people are like that, they put those objects around them because they feel safe. They do it because they don't want to, they want to kind of just hide. And so those types of people usually have some other things. Now, here's the thing, it can go kind of vice versa here. The collection of the items can also lead to where they start hoarding all of these things in their mind that causes them to project that onto other people. So, like, I'm going to give a good example because I think this is great. So like if someone hurt you, right? You go and you see and meet someone else new and everything like that, you immediately think they're going to be the same way. And so you can't get past that. But then it can be vice versa. The people that hold on to the things in their mind can be using those objects as a buffer to protect themselves. It's like a physical, actual wall that they try and put up to defend themselves. And the more stuff they collect, the harder it is to actually be able to physically approach them, if that makes sense, right? Because the harder it is to get to them through their house with all this stuff built up, it is literally like they are building up a defense to keep people out. And so it makes it to where they are literally hiding. And I am telling you right here, right now, 9 times out of 10, if you get to one of these people that have this sort of problem, you will find that there is some sort of psychological thing going on, that they cannot let go of something, that they have been hurt in their past. And if you can become the person that they trust, that you can speak to about these issues, you will be able to help them break through this. As I was saying earlier in my stuff, I met someone, I knew someone who was like this, and it was literally destroying our relationship because they couldn't get past these things. They couldn't let go. And as I was saying earlier, once I sat them down, literally face to face on the bed, and was like, look, I'm my own person. I'm not this person from your past. I'm not these same people that you met prior. I am someone different. Yes, I have my own faults. I have my problems. I get angry. I say things I don't mean. But I am trying to be the best I can be. And I wasn't always that way, guys. I'll be the first to say I was a shit person when I was young. I thought I was better than people because I had a shit childhood. And if you want to learn more about that, go into my live videos. I talk about my childhood trauma. I talk about some of the shit I went through. There's a reason that I was the way I was. Now, that doesn't excuse my shit behavior, and I know that now. But there was a reason that I pushed out and I lashed out and I thought that I was owed by people. And because I felt that way, I treated people really shittily. And I was a real major grade douchebag. I really was. It wasn't until I was able to get past some of those things, that baggage, that I started to change. And so I let her know, I was like, look, yes, I have my problems, I have my faults and stuff like that. And I had to get past those things. And so when I was finally able to kind of approach them that way and be like, look, I'm going to do my best to be the best me and everything like that, things started to progress and move forward. And so just know, guys, that just because they have this kind of stuff going on doesn't mean you can't reach them. They're not unreachable. They may have a lot of walls, and some of that may mean removing some of that actual like physical baggage they're hanging on to. But once you do, you will get through to them and you will reach them. So, anyways, I think that is the end of this subject. So, I appreciate you all. I love y'all for being here. I hope this helps somebody. I really do. This is something that I think can really, really help and reach people on a deeper level because it's not just physical stuff. It is very psychological, it's mental. And if you can reach people that are having these problems, you can really not only help them, but help yourself if you're trying to be close to these people because it'll finally let them let you in. And once you can get them to do this, things will be so much better for you guys. So, I love y'all. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you all. For those that subscribed, thank you so much. You'll be seeing more of me soon. Possibly even today. It just depends. Sometimes, I hear or I think of something and I go, I gotta talk about this. I gotta get this out there. I gotta get people to realize what's going on. So, I love y'all. Thank you for being here. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. All right. Love y'all. Jack the Stripper out.